Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about the history of Brookhaven, and like I did in the last video, the story of how Brookhaven found the island, or he wanted to make Brookhaven. So let's get started on that.
If you haven't been living under a rock, you know that Brookhaven has been in constant change, which is why today I'll be showing how the old Brookhaven looked in all its details. We'll start it off with the very first version of all time, from 1903. This may not look like it, but it's the very first version of Brookhaven ever. I'm sure of that because there's ways to confirm it in the latest versions of the game by going to the mall. If we go to the cinema to watch a movie and then input a secret code in the projector, we'll be able to see the story of the city of Brookhaven. You'll see how it all began when
Mr. Brookhaven at a campfire after he came onto the island after he crashed with after Titanic sank.
Nothing really existed. All it had was a horse and Mr. Brookhaven.
Then he started digging, and
then there's tons of images from the start of the game until we get to this one right here. As you can see, there's a sign for the city of Brookhaven.
Then he just started constructing Brookhaven.
As he puts it up, while on the next one we can see how Brookhaven looked.
He met up with Miss Brookhaven, and it says. And she said, "Hello, Mr. Brookhaven."
All the way back then. The sign is behind them now, and the building is still being constructed back there. Next, we can see other parts of town starting to get built. I think those white parts over there have to do with the church. That takes us back to this version from 1903, with the exact same sign from that movie. Beyond that, it also seems to be a holiday version. Since they're celebrating the New Year over here, there's even fireworks going out today. This is awesome! This is the same ladder we saw Mr. Brookhaven used in the movie. And apparently the building that was still being built in the back was the old police station. Look at just how different it was back then. Most things were not even here yet. Everything has that old feeling. Everything was also made out of wood, as you can see. Let's focus on what matters for this video though. The mall at this point was literally nothing still. All it had was an empty lot with grass and trees. Wait, we can just push this horse around? This is so funny. So much of this town was a whole lot simpler at this time. But that's practically it. We didn't have much anywhere, and the mall wasn't even a thought still. Now we're in the year of 2020, which was the year where Brookhaven opened up so every single player could log into the game. We can even confirm that just by looking at the point the game was created. Here you'll read that it was made in 2020, making this the very first version of Brookhaven ever. Getting back to the topic of the mall, at this point it didn't exist as well. All we had in that space was the Burger Barn. This place has even been recently re-added into Brookhaven as well. Most people don't know that this place is old, even less about the secret passage that I always show you guys, where you'll find this empty space in the vents with some snacks before our shift starts. Let's look around a bit more before leaving this older version of the game. Continuing our exploration with the old skate park. Yeah, the skate park was once located behind the gas station. You could find it beneath this high road, and it had way more places to skate around than the one we have nowadays. Anyone could just grab your board and do as many tricks as you wanted around this awesome space it had. They even left a Coke machine if you ever needed a drink before some tricks. If we go and compare the older version of the skate park with the most recent one, it has nothing to do with anything. This is Rockstar. It's a clothing store that looked like this back then. It changed with recent versions, but something they've also taken out was these stairs that took you up to the second floor. Here you could buy things like backpacks, hats. They even had a little changing room as well. The bank was pretty much the same, just so we don't lose anything. Something it did of different is the way out of here through the vents that wasn't added yet. You know what I'm talking about. When you steal from the bank's vault, you're able to use this vent to escape the police and all that. So yeah, back then you couldn't do that at all. Another store we had at this point is called the Cleaners. Here we had a place where you could ask for your clothes to get cleaned, so that was pretty useful. Sadly, the Cleaners are nowhere to be found in Brookhaven's latest versions, but we can still find at least some of its ideas here, since if we go and click this laundromat button, the The whole room will turn into a place for you to do your laundry, which is a lot prettier than the cleaners. Something else that's different is this auto shop we have here. As you can see, it has nothing to do with the one we have nowadays. Check out just how much simpler it was. Back area, for example. By the way, there's also quite a big secret hidden beneath this place, since there's an entrance into the old criminal headquarters in here. Sadly, this version is a bit buggy, so we can't really walk over there. Hopefully our next map will let us do that. We also had an agency building that was inside the game back then. The only place you'll find it nowadays is inside some of the movies in the cinema. It's still interesting to see how this place was. It came with all sorts of rooms for the FBI and all their tools. Something else about this place is that it was directly connected to the older Brookhaven police station. So those two buildings were basically one before. Here's some other old buildings and the places you could find them back in 2020. Not only that, we even had a housing community that was completely different. That was Blackhawk. In most recent versions, you'd find this community over this way, close to the entrance to Lake Madison. But all these years back, you could find it right in front of the public pool. Didn't it look completely different? You could actually grab a housing plot here and live as close to spawn as possible. Another thing you'll figure out is that some stores were not even added into the game yet. Club Brooks, for example, you'll be able to find up here later. Beyond the old Blackhawk location, you could even get some housing lots over here as well. This whole side had this huge ramp that took you to these two plots of land, which is not bad at all. To finish off this version, back in 2020 we didn't have much close to the school. All it had was this highway that took you over to Tube TV. We also had this drone ride sign down here. And Lake Madison didn't have either the little cabin or even all the trees you'd normally find close to it today. Now we've logged into a version from 2021. Or at least I think it is. I wasn't playing the game back at this time. Apparently Tube TV had already been deleted and they left the Brookhaven church in its place for now. Quite a strange place. Looks like I got a Christmas version this time, which is why you'll see all kinds of decorations spread all around town, like that big lollipop up there. Brookhaven's airport was still getting added, so all they had was this sign that let you board into the plane. That didn't take you to an airport, but straight inside the plane they've made. Here's what it looked back then. Not that different from what it is nowadays. Here's how the grocery store looked back then. It's almost nostalgic to see all of this. On top of the grocery store where we have the apartments nowadays, we didn't have anything. For now, it's this empty space that'll turn into something else later. It was still under construction. Let's go back to the video's topic. Here's the mall. It looked like this back then. Completely black like that. Can we take a look inside? Oh, this map doesn't let me. Guess we'll have to use our free camera once again. Inside it also was completely different. We did already have things like the cinema though. You can even find some movies I've never seen before. Apparently the name of this one is Give Robux. It'll also open in 2021. So maybe this version is from 2020/20. These other beyond the how it is today. I've now joined here where you find the church. Inside it you'll see that everything else. Another thing we got with turning that already got this. I did all the way here, as well as getting a link mat that with the latest update giving us that was just deleted from here after this. You won't find it anywhere. Finally, we're at the very latest version we have of the game, with every single new remodeling, and we have tons more stuff than we had before. With the latest update giving us a brand new version of the mall, which gave it such a new modern look. Comment down below if you like these new versions.
Was the best update in Brookhaven.